WandaVision, Wanda. Hey, here we are.
Nice. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
You can see I'm now moved away from
Right, what happened?
I've had to move back out to the studio, so everything's quite dark and black here and kind of spooky. So you can see I've got the creepy kind of, it's a red light district. All right, the light gives it away.
That's where you are.
I'm near a whole lot of prostitutes. No. No, I'm out in the studio and ready to go. This is a weird show. I've got to say, this is a weird episode.
It is.
Because it's really, it's the live after show, but it's not about WandaVision as such. It's more about the making of.
Which aired this evening.
Which is really the way that we get our bonus features these days. Is like making of. Like we used to obviously get our bonus features on our DVDs back in the day. Now it's obviously very different. We get it via these kind of specials that they release. But it was nice to go back and revisit that world through the perspective of the making of, Rick. How did you find the making of?
I liked it, actually. It was a couple of things which, that caught my attention and surprised, actually, was a couple of things. One, I didn't realise there was a live audience. They were recording in front of a live audience, which kind of was like, but the way they did that, which I thought was awesome. Everyone got into character. Everyone was dressed up. Even the audience, the chairs were set into that 50s style. The railing, so much effort they put into it was just spectacular. And to see all the visual effects on how they make things and the wire, it was just great. It was
You know what I found interesting too was like he had said Matt Shankman, who was the director of the series, turned around and said, he goes, it's not parody. We're trying to replicate it. So with that, they're trying to give it that most authentic feel as possible. Yeah, that was that. The sitcom element of that was quite interesting, I thought. I really loved, obviously, I love behind the scenes stuff of movies, TV. Yeah. It's my jam, and certainly it was good because you could tell there was a lot of passion, in this project. Like everyone was a big believer in it and they all seemed to be enjoying themselves. So it was good. I mean, I don't know how much I have to comment, Rick, over a making of. A making of is a making of.
Well, that's right. But I guess we take it for granted. Like people like yourself, you're heavily involved in this. You've got your own production company and you love that sort of things. People who aren't into that take it for granted. They think, it's just a TV show. But the big scope of it, what goes into it is amazing. How many cameras?
Even down to where they were painting Vision's place blue because they used to color blue because it was a better color match for the black and white. I dig on stuff like that. I really do.
The thing that I got, which you probably would be able to answer, Jace, but I was having a look. They've got they use a lot of green screen, right? What's with the blue screen? Is that the same as green screen?
It is. It just depends on what the elements you're trying to remove, or maybe even the color of the costume. So, for example, Vision may have a lot of green in his costume, because there was at one point. You wouldn't have his green up against a green screen.
It will just...
Yeah, so you're using the blue screen, green screen has the same principle,
Right.
Which is different from what they would have done back in the day, would have been something called rear projection. And rear projection is where they put up a film screen behind them, and then there's a camera behind that reverse projecting an image. So if they're driving around or something like that, that's how they would do that back in the day. Fascinating stuff. But you know what it did do for me, Rick? It reminded me. My mind kept going what I really thought of the series because it's been a week out now since we've seen the finale, and it's fair to say that some people thought the finale was a bit of a disappointment or average or weren't kind of super in love with it. I, however, now thinking back as a show on a whole. I don't think you feel like that if you binge watched it. I think if you binge watch it, it's going to feel one more of a complete piece. But I think the show overall, looking back as an entire series, was an unbelievable first series for Marvel. It really was. I mean, to go out there and do something as weird and ballsy in this, and really it's dealing with grief. You know, it's just a full credit to them that they created such a wonderful show, you know, which is just such strong characters and things like that. It's just great. And as you can see on screen here, you know, even them still confusing to this day, because he's not supposed to be a crossover of X-Men, but bringing Pietro back and Evan Peters and things like that. So really great. And of course, for me, the most excitable thing I've got all out of this is, if I click onto this, is obviously WandaVision. You know, to see that is just, what can I say? There were massive things that happened in this series, massive MCU changing things. And obviously Wanda, you know, actually coming out and becoming the Scarlet Witch in her true form, the origin of Monica Rambeau, the origin of White Vision, the introduction of Agatha Harkness. I mean, this show really did open the gates quite a bit, you know. And, you know, I thought about it afterwards too, like, you know, when I watched the show, is now these characters are going to go in some really interesting directions now. We know Wanda is obviously has a role in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We don't know what Vision is doing, but Paul Bettany has come out and confirmed that he is involved in several MCU projects. So
that's interesting.
That's apparently what was reported. So that's a fascinating kind of way they're going down. I really feel like this T-shirt is not appropriate for tonight's show, is it?
Yeah, DC.
I don't think I dressed correctly for this show.
Come on, mate. Jeez.
But nevertheless, I look back at that show and just think of the sheer scope, Rick, that they did. I mean, look at this. Look at this timeline of the visuals that they did and all of the different styles of what they did throughout the decades. I mean, it was a monumental effort. It was a monumental effort. So it was absolutely fantastic, you know. How about you, Rick? Your thoughts about your overall thoughts as you're a week away from WandaVision. What did you think?
I think, look, overall, I really enjoyed this series from start to finish. The end, you know, the finale was, I was on the fence with that at the moment. But you bring up a good point. It is probably one of those shows that I'd love to. I think I'm just going to sit down and actually binge the whole thing because it is entirely just a movie broken up, like we discussed. And I think, you know, I was saying that. But you know, it had you thinking. It had everyone talking about it, and you know, a lot of theories came out, which was right. You know, fan theories, which was great, which we all discussed on the show as well. Every episode, there's always something different, and that's what I loved about this show. And then opening up all those characters to lead into something very special that Marvel do quite well is exciting to see. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with these characters.
Yeah, I think 100% for sure, you know. And, you know, this is, even though this is not going to be a long episode on WandaVision, but I do want to talk about where we're heading, guys, because we are heading next week to a couple of very big things. And one, I'm surprising Rick live on air because we have not discussed this, but I'm about to hit Rick with some news about a new show.
A new show?
He is now committing to without even realizing, because it's occurred to me, not only do we have the beginning of the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show, which I think everybody's excited about, you know? But I also want to announce that we have Justice League coming out next week. Obviously the Zack Snyder cut, and the Zack Snyder cut is actually broken up into 6 chapters. We're going to be doing a new weekly show where we're going to watch each chapter, and we're going to break down and talk about that if it was one individual episode. And so what we will do as through a run, we may not be doing. That'll be on a Monday night, and then on Monday night we're going to do a Justice League, and then on Friday we're going to do Falcon and Winter Soldier for the next 6 weeks run, and especially with these 2 shows. So does that sound like an idea, Rick?
Mate, that sounds like a brilliant idea because it's great to have a bit of a mixture, because we don't really talk much about DC. It's a lot of there's an opportunity to talk about more DC.
It's interesting because it's not coming out in 6 episodes; it's coming out as one film. But he's breaking it up into chapters, which I think is excellent. So I thought we'll take that opportunity and we will talk about DC. So maybe it is appropriate now. We'll be doing that and the Falcon and Winter Soldier of next week. But let's get back into Falcon and Winter Soldier, Rick. I want to talk about the predictions of what this show, what do you think the show is going to be primarily about, and what do you hope to see?
Okay, so we know the events. If we look at it, we know it's the events after Endgame. So the way I see it, Sam's got the shield. We've seen a lot of backstories with Bucky. We've done his backstory. We don't know much about Sam, so I think they're gonna be showing a bit more of a backstory with Sam, and then the highs and lows of him, or not the pressure, but him taking the mantle from Cap. I think that's what we're gonna be looking at, and
talk about a hard act to follow.
I think that's mainly going to be a heavy emphasis on that as well, and it's going to have that, buddy cop type feel to it as well, because those two have a great chemistry, and I think that's what it's going to be leading into.
Well, I couldn't agree more, and I thought they were excellent comments, Rick. I think absolutely we're going to be seeing the backdrop of Sam and what it means to take the mantle, because what an act to follow. How do you follow Captain America? I think we're going to see a lot of politics being involved in here. Obviously, we've seen US agents going to be in the show. So, excuse me. That's what you get for drinking a bottle of Coke so quickly. We're going to get to see that. So there's going to be a lot of politics involved. But for me, it's also going to see not just their dynamic and their body cop, the buddy cop concept that they're going to go through. It's really, I'm really interested to see this character back. And Rick, the reason I bring this image up is his purple mask. Now, something interesting I thought about when I saw the lines in his purple mask, which is comic book specific, right? That's exactly the way it looks in the comic book. But do you think the reason why he's wearing this is to show the Avengers that you once lost? Like, to me, it's like he's putting a mask on to say, remember Thanos? Remember that time that, half the planet disappeared? Like, kind of almost like baiting them a little bit.
Kind of just,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking anyway. But I don't know how much more I can add to what you've said in regards to Sam and his relationship with the Winter Soldier. I think that's going to be explored quite heavily. Do you think we get a cameo from... Do we get a cameo from Chris Evans? Like as a flashback scene?
Possibly, if they're going deep diving into his...
I think he would do it. It's not like he had to put the suit back on. But if there was just a scene of them talking, yeah. But I'll tell you one thing I think people should learn from this Marvel series. Don't go too far with your conspiracies. I know this whole Mephisto thing dominated WandaVision. And it didn't turn out to be that. Sometimes what it is what it is. And here's a bit of advice to you. Generally, in most TV shows and movies, behind the scenes, the villain comes in very early. You just don't know it sometimes, as they did with
WandaVision.
With WandaVision. And it's very common with a lot of films that sometimes the villain, he may not be, or she be revealed in that instance, but generally the main characters of a story are introduced very early on. So I would suggest that, I don't know. I don't expect, the Hulk to show up or something like that. Don't expect that stuff. Just because I think that throughout WandaVision, people were building their expectations way too high and probably felt a little bit let down because of that. I think we should lower our expectations and just enjoy what promises to be a fun ride.
Yeah. I agree with that, mate. Yeah.
So, that's it, guys. We're not doing a long show today. We're doing a very quick 15 to 20-minute show. We don't have really a lot of live viewers tonight, which is fine, guys, because it's not really a TV show we're talking about. So this is just a filler to say the next 6 weeks, starting next Friday and then Monday, we are going to be going dual shows Falcon and the Winter Soldier on a Friday night live, and a Monday night we'll be doing chapter by chapter of Zack Snyder's Justice League, Rick. So it's a huge 6 weeks coming up for the channel, Rick.
So join us. So
you got to be part of it. Get in the conversation. That's the things that we love the most, is people getting involved in this. I think for comic book lovers, you couldn't ask for any better, could you, Rick?
No, and it was great. Doing the show that we did, especially with the WandaVision, this is the first time we've actually did like a series episode by episode. It's great. We had a lot of feedback from a lot of people, and a lot of people got involved, and we love it. So please, guys, just join us in these 6 weeks. It's going to be huge. We're going to
the only thing I want, Rick, is for it to hurry up. But maybe if I put this on, maybe I can open it up, speed up time with this baby.
That's cool,
dude. Still in there, so, but I was hoping I could have busted this out because Doctor Strange may have come into WandaVision.
But
has not.
So you couldn't bust it out. So you got to bust it out.
Couldn't bust it out. So the only time I got to bust it out now, because let's see if we can't forward time and and try to get this show happening like now. So look, I'm pumped. You're pumped, Rick. Everyone get involved. If you're not watching live now, and then there's not a lot, but if you watch it throughout the week, please get involved with these two shows. It's going to be huge. I know for Justice League, it's like, well, we could just do one. No, I think we're really going to go deep analysis and deep chapter, Rick, and allow people, because I do have a feeling that this show is going to be quite substantial. Meaning, excuse me, I burped them. Quite substantial in the sense that there's going to be a lot of things crammed into the movie. Even though it's 4 hours long, I can't imagine it's not stuffed with goodness. So it'll be good to do that. And of course, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Monday?
What's that?
Is it airing Monday? Is it Monday? It's airing?
No, it's airing on the 18th of March as a full thing. So it's coming out next Thursday in Australia, but we won't start our breakdown show to the Monday. Give people time to look at it. And I said, we're going to probably watch it multiple times. I'll watch the whole thing on the first day if I can.
Oh, yeah. 4 hours.
But I think I would really like to break them down into chapters. I think there's probably a lot to
that's
discuss.
good. Yeah, no, definitely.
And, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Oof. So,
mate, I'm really looking forward to this show. Like I don't think anyone will be disappointed with what's going to come up with Falcon.
No, well, how can you be disappointed with what they did here? So they just did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, thanks for watching again. We had such a blast doing WandaVision. So now we've expanded it to 2 shows. So we're going to the next one now. Obviously, some people who like watching Pop Culture Spread Live will go, what's going on there? Look, I'll be really honest with you guys. We haven't had a lot of big news for a while, and I think the biggest news out there will be these 2 shows, But, of course, if there's something breaking, if there is something huge, if we go to the movies or there's a great new trailer, we'll be all over it. It's not like we're banning anything else. We just think for the next 6 weeks, this might be must-watch television. So there you go, guys.
So that's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have. Sorry. Go on, mate.
I love it. Are you going to wear that? You should wear that.
For the premiere of Doctor Strange and Man.
When we go out to the cinema, just wear it, man. I'm going to love it.
Yeah. Just rock it.
It is a good piece, mate. That's it.
That's anything to everyone.
Yeah.
No, just do the hand gesture like, what do you got to say, dude? And what does he do? He I think it's that move, isn't it? Or something. I have to watch it again. But yeah, fantastic. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this little mini episode.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Making of. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's a great making of. We love the show. And we look forward to the next one. What was that?
And it's called Assembled. If you try
Assembled. It's start of a new series, Assembled. So I would assume, Rick, that means like every show at the end of the run of each series, we will get those making of. Kind of like what they did with the gallery thing for Mandalorian, where they've done that.
That was amazing. That was awesome. Well, I love that. That was really interesting. So, good show.
That's it, guys.
No worries.
I'll see you next time, all right? And thanks for watching, and bring it on.
Thanks, guys. See